Okay, so whenever you guys are ready, you can begin your presentation. All the best and good luck.
All right, thank you so much. Okay. Assalamualaikum and good morning to you, Mr. E. I am Afika, and with me we'll have Umu Kalsum and also Abdul Shafiz. Today we are going to present about Azure model and also rule of third. So first of all, let's go into the definition of Azure model. Azure model is a model of common sense, a regimented guide that has the goal of producing more effective teaching and learning. It is intended to utilize technology and media and also to ensure appropriate learning environment for students or any audience. So it is actually a six steps instructional system designed that is made up from an acronyms, which is analyze, state, select, utilize, require, and also evaluate. So now I will let Umo to present her parts in the function of Azure model.
Okay, thank you, Afika. So I will go ahead and explain to you about what each of these acronyms work, how it works. Okay, so basically we have A, which means to analyze learners. There are many ways to analyze the audience. We can analyze them by their general characteristics, maybe their age, grade level, sex, socioeconomic status, etc. You can also analyze them by their specific competencies, which maybe they have previous knowledge about this topic. They have skills, academic abilities, etc. And also maybe also certain students have different learning styles. Some have might have visual, logical, verbal, etc. Okay, so next we'll go ahead to the next acronym, which is S, which is state objectives. So what objective means is a statement of what students will be able to do as a result of the instruction. So from what we've done our research, we can understand that there is an ABCD model for writing objectives. So basically, the ABCD model is also an acronym for writing objectives. So first we have A, audience, which means to objectives intended for the learners in the class. Next, B, behavior, demonstration of knowledge or skills in the domains of learning. Third is condition, which is the equipment or tools used to complete the behavior. And four is the degree, which means the standard of performance. Okay, next is the another S, which means select instructional methods, media, and materials. Okay, so once the audience understand and knows the objectives that the teacher stated, we can actually select a method to bridge the two components together. You can teach the lesson in tutorials or spend the half of the class time for the students to work in groups. So basically the goal of this is to choose a method for delivering the instruction. The instructors can actually select an available material or modify existing materials, or they can even design new materials for the students. Okay, so next is U. U is utilize media and materials. So by this stage, the chosen resources get implemented. So the instructor need to preview and test all the teaching equipment and materials before the actual lesson to ensure that it is appropriate for the usage of the students. Next is R, means require learner participation. So the audience will more likely to enjoy the lecture or the study if they are engaged in it. It is actually a good idea to incorporate questions and answers, discussions, group work, and also hands-on activities. This in order to get the audience actively involved. But the instructor also need to remember that the audience will need to practice what they have learned from us, and they should receive feedbacks before any tests are given. Okay, so last but not least is evaluate and revise. So in order to become a good instructor, you need to constantly evaluate your students and teaching styles, um, the students' learning experience to improve for the lesson. You might also want to check with the students to fill out a questionnaire or a survey at the end of the class. Okay, so next, on the next slide, you can see I've done a specific part on the application of a Azure model. So basically what we wanted to put there is the tips to to apply Azure model in blended learning. So first, you can see conduct surveys and online assessments to research audience. So this can be applied to the A part, which is analyze students. The instructor can send surveys, questionnaires, interviews, or assessments beforehand to analyze the audience traits and experience levels. Okay, so next is create custom tailored objectives. So it is important to go back to the main purpose, which is to develop goals that are actually learner specific. So we need to know what learning behaviors they need to display, what knowledge do they need to know by the end of the class, etc. Okay, so next is to choose tech tools that align with common goals. So basically what we understood is quality over quantity. There are multiple apps that we can use for this purpose of Azure model in blended learning. However, um, it is important to select an effective one, and it is also better if you use application that is actually common and simple for the user to use. Okay, so next is giving the tactile materials and a test run. So basically just a quick run through by the instructor before class to make sure that it works properly, it is in working order, and learners can actually use them effectively. Okay, so next is getting the learners involved. As I say, it's require the learners' participation. Last but not least is to understand that the Assure model is Assure strategy is a work in progress. So it might not work at first, but through it all, modification will need to be applied to, so you can actually uh, help the students to achieve their main objectives at the end of the day. Okay, so I will pass my part to Shaf uh, to continue.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. I'm going to proceed with the presentation by explaining the examples that we found that a certain website that implies all of the Azure models in the website itself. Basically, the example that we've chosen is actually Duolingo. The website. A little background on the website is basically it's like a learning. You can learn a new language in that website. Okay, the Azure model that the website implies is basically uh, whereas like for example the first one, which is analyze, where before signing into the website itself, it will ask you the website itself will ask you like your region, your age, your gender, to specifically route you to a certain level of like difficulty on learning a new language. Where and then continue on with the next step, which is state. It will give you like certain objectives to reach. Like they will give you like certain rewards to give you like this certain like achievement when you actually progress in your learning when you're learning a new language. And then and then continue on with select and utilize. The website gives you like gives you like certain images and media to like help you visually learn the language, where two people are like speaking to each other, or like they you can say like give you media to like translate the language to, like for example from English to Mandarin. They give you a book. They will give you a picture of a book. You need to they will also give you like A, B, C, or D to like to imply like which like Mandarin language is the book, which is the translation. And then like the fifth step, which is require, they will give you like a lot of exercises for you to practice, so that you will polish your the language that you're trying to learn even better. And like the more exercises that you do, the harder it gets, so that you can actually improve the language that you're trying to learn. And whereas and then the last step, which is evaluate, every certain exercise that you finish, you can actually give a certain feedback on like on like how the website designers can improve their website even further, and can actually help like a lot more people to increase their learning capabilities on learning a new language. Okay, now that's all from me, and now we're going to continue to the rule of thirds. Africa, you can continue.
All right. Thank you so much, Shaf. So now I'm going to continue with the rule of thirds. So what do we understand from the rule of thirds? So to explain it in a much more simpler way, rule of thirds is a layout of design where it could be applied in web page, paintings, or even photograph. It is actually referred to 3 times 3 grids that are equally shaped, and also it is to create a better, well balanced, and interesting and picturesque image. So the grid will help you to determine how the eye follows the image of groups, and also the group of images in a web design or any other paintings as well as photograph. So there are no specific size or no specific grids except for 3 times 3 grids. And to use it well, Umo will explain on how does this rule of third will function in a much more efficient way.
Okay, thank you, Afika. So basically, what we can understand, the rule of thirds is actually derived from the golden ratio theory. So what is the golden ratio? Golden ratio is also commonly known as the divine proportion. It speaks about the perfect proportions of the rectangular shape, where the ratio of the longer or the bigger part to the shorter smaller part is equal to approximately 1.618. So due to that, the truth is, the golden ratio brings balance and harmony to the creation, making them naturally beautiful and aesthetically pleasing, like in the example below. However, what makes it different from the rule of thirds is actually the golden ratio will include a much more mathematical stuffs involved in it, where you need to calculate and etc. However, the rule of thirds is just simple. You just put two horizontal line and two vertical line into a picture or a website that you have. Then you will be able to see the rule of thirds being applied. So the rule of thirds plays an essential role in photographic composition, and even now in website, even on your phone itself. Okay, so the benefits to have so you can check from our slides. You can actually see we put a specific picture of eye scanning and of the rule of thirds. Where we can see our eyes actually. This is based on a study. We actually uses more on the top left corner, which 41% we are most likely 41% look to that particular area, and then we'll move down, and then we'll move back up to the top right corner, and then we'll move down back. Okay, so basically we can understand that this rule of thirds actually is what makes us low-key addictive to the phone. And also what we can understand from this, the reason for the why we read why it is for the highest percent is on the 41% is because most of us in the world we read from left to right. So I will pass this to Shaf.
Okay, I'm going to continue the presentation by showing the examples that we found that the rule of third has been implemented. You can the clearest, you can say. As you guys can see from the slides, which is the example that we've chosen is basically the Rolling Stones article magazine. As you guys can see, but as Umo explained, where 41% are where majority of people will start looking at the article from the top left, where the Rolling Stones put like the option of like seeing new issues, and then like it goes down. The Rolling Stone website designers implied like the latest news where people can actually see and browse through, so that they can survey more on like the recent news that has been implemented in the Rolling Stone magazine. And then it will go up again to the top right, where you can actually search on like any news that you're trying to search, or like specifically search on like, yeah, and the news, any news that you actually want to specifically search. And it will go down to like any they usually other website designers will also put like advertisements on the top, on the left side and on the right side, so that people can they can actually gain money from like the website that they've designed. So is for the examples, a lot of that actually found like a lot of like other like software website designers implies the rule of third, where majority of like the websites that we found, they put their logos on the top right, so that you are more you can so that their company logo are more well known. And that's basically all from me to for the rule of third. And thank you. That's all from us for explaining the Azure model and also the rule of third. And yeah, that's all from us.